I need to start making Yawn his separate one. Oh, what's going on? For God's sake, I don't know what's happened. Sorry guys, you'll have to bear with me. Jesus. I don't understand what's happened here. For God's sake. Right, we are live. I don't know if it's correct. We'll have to check. I need to copy it and make Yawn his own. Because every time he jumps on it, he messes everything up. Not his fault, it's just because of the way we both stream differently. I don't think this is right. Is that right? Yeah, that's fine. Right, welcome everybody. How are we all? I'm getting everything set up. I do apologise because it's all just messed up. So. Right, we are nearly ready to go. It is short qualifying because we had drivers just drop out right at the last minute, like literally didn't tell us, just literally went, yep, bye, and just left the lobby. And these people own other leagues as well, which is just absolutely madness that they have that much lack of respect. Right, Jack Happy Champ is currently on a provisional pole in the Hash. You've got Pulse Luxury in P2 in the Mercedes. Deadly is setting the fastest sector free of anybody as he comes to the line and goes up to P4. Then you've got a couple of drivers. Reese dies on an outlap. F1 Lexi in the Ferrari. So we will ride on board with the Racing Bull of Reese. How are we, Harry? What's going on, Senjo? How are we? So here we are in Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It should be a very, very good race if I do say so myself. I'm expecting big things. We've seen big things throughout the day. So we shall see. So 12 minutes to go. How are we doing, Project? You okay? So he is lighting up the circuit here, Reese, with them purple blocks. You can see on the halo now, we've updated the halo. And you can see that it actually shows you how they're doing throughout the lap. So that's really good. Yeah, absolutely, Jeffy. That's what it's about. So he's lighting up the circuit here, Reese. As you can see, the fastest sectors so far, first and second. Jack Happy Champ is currently on pole position. But look at this for Reese. It is purple after purple as he comes down to the line. Reese Guy takes provisional pole by just over a tenth of a second. That's a yellow flag. That is a driver that just slips off in the distance. But Reese, the championship leader, is on top here in Interlagos. You've got the Sauber coming out of the pit lane. The new debutants, Jack Happy Champ in the Haas and his teammate of Sam Wars. So a big welcome to them to Formula 7 racing, one of the best racing leagues you can experience. But look at the top 6 or 7, separated by half a second. Solar the Eater, who probably will be racing in Tier 1 as of next week, is in the Red Bull and he's up to P6. And Fanfitness in the Mercedes goes up to P7, a 107.699. Sam Wars, fastest Sector 1 of anybody. So it is not over just yet with 10 minutes to go. Bjorn, it wasn't supposed to be short. It was supposed to be full qualifying, but then there was only 16 drivers and then 3 of them joined as the lobby was readying up, which was with like 3 seconds to go, which was really annoying because I would have preferred full qualifying. So Reese coming through turn 11 and down in towards turn 12. So around turn 14, and Sam Wars. It wasn't Yarn. Sam Wars goes P2. He sets the fastest first and third sectors. Look how competitive this is and how close this is. SJ in the Ferrari. He's raced here previously. It's nice to see him back on track. So he's just sliding around turn 8. He's down in P17 at the moment. I'm hoping for a good race. But we'll see Jeffy Boy in that beautiful Williams in P10 at the moment. Only 7/10 off provisional pole. Sam Wars into P3. So the top 3 separated by half a tenth. Half a tenth separate the top 3. Jack Happy Champ and Sam Wars in P2 and P3. Then you've got Pulse Luxury and Deadly. Then you've got Gale in the Alpine. Who's at Aston in P18? I'm actually not sure. Let me have a look actually. CJ, it's CJ. Yeah, Aston Martin in P18. So Reese Gale goes up to P4. That's a really good lap from the Alpine driver. Pulse Luxury. Then you've got Deadly Solar the Eater in P7, who's just on his way into the pit lane. Fanfinis in P8 and B Right in P9. Jeffy Boy's in P10, and then F1 Lexi, who's already won a race here today in Tier 2, is up to P11. And then the Sauber, who is that in the Sauber? Levan, yes, the Frenchman of Levan. So Levan is coming round. Yellow flag is waving. He's coming out of turn 14. Here we go, the Frenchman. We can't see what sort of sectors he's doing because he doesn't share his data, which is absolutely fine. Kylan in the Alpine is on an outlap, and then you've got Ivan, who's already had 3 podiums this season in the Red Bull. Just coming around turn 11. Oh, Bjorn, absolutely. Absolutely he is, yeah. We already fought that after the Tier 2 race today. I thought it after last week, but everybody wanted to wait and just see. Ivan goes up to P7. And then we've got F1 Lexi, Edward into P13. Then you've got the Sauber of Levan, and then Kylan in the Alpine, Jinxo in the McLaren. Coming around turn 9. So in towards turn 10 for the Papaya. Not a bad banker, Kylan. You're absolutely right. What's your predictions of my lap time? I have absolutely no idea, mate. I don't even know what the lap times really are, to be quite honest with you, if I'm being completely honest. I'm just seeing if you can... You can't really hear the game audio on stream, so... that's why. So, Jinxo is going to set a lap, and that is B Right up to P5. A 107.397, and Pulse Luxury in the Mercedes has spun it around turn 1 with 5.5 minutes to go. But he is up to P7, and was that Fanfinis in the other Mercedes that just came through to go up to P4. So it is extremely close. You've got Reese Dye, who might be going for another run here as the clouds just come over. Oh, what? Where's the billboards? Oh. I uploaded. Oh, I had the billboards. I forgot. I forgot to put them on. For Brazil as well. I had all the billboards set for Brazil. Oh, that is so annoying. That's annoying. It's really annoying because I had all the billboards set, and I made new ones for turn 1 for that Liquor Molly. or whatever it's called, into turn 1. I put all new billboards for the first corner and everything. So yeah, good to go. So Reese is 3 tenths in front of Jack Happy Champ and Sam Wars, the 2 Haas drivers, the 2 Scotsmen. And then we have Solo of the Year. Every single driver is in the pit lane. Every single one of them. So that is interesting. I'm annoyed that I didn't put the billboards on. So who's going to be the first driver out of the pit lane? So remember, you can come and join exclamation mark Discord in the chat. We have 4 tiers every single Sunday. That's tier 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 tier designed. The 4th tier is designed specifically for slower drivers. And then we have LMU on a Monday, multi-class. That is absolutely stacked at the moment. It's very hard to get a seat in there. And then we have F2 and F1 realistic on a Wednesday. And then we have a setup course fortnightly on a Friday. However, I do start my new role tomorrow in Liverpool, so I do have to be up for about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it means that I do 1 week of lates and 3 weeks of early. So on that week of lates I will not be able to do anything in terms of racing wise, in terms of realistic, in terms of LMU, instead of course anything. So Reese is the 3rd driver out on track. I think Gale is the one leading the way. He's not actually. Could be Solar then. No, he is 2nd driver. And then we do have one just in front of him. So here we go. And I will try and find who that is. Ah, there it is. It is Kylan, who will get us underway. So he will be the first of the final runners. So Kylan coming down in towards turn 2 and 3. Interesting. It's a nice line through there for the Alpine driver. It's not right. It's not right. This is a joke. So, Kylan coming down in towards the final corner. And then remember, we do have a couple of the other drivers. I think Solo was going to be next in the Red Bull. Oh, he has abandoned his lap. He has abandoned it. Oh, he needs to watch out. What's he doing? He's got a full grid of drivers behind him setting laps. Oh, no. Solar. And then there's an Aston Martin now as well who wants to set a lap, but he's got so much traffic in front of him. Solar is going to get another lap in, but that Ferrari, that is F1 Lexit, and they did compete with each other in Tier 2 for the race victory just a couple of hours ago. Then you've got Reese, who did another down lap, and Jack is slightly up on his lap time as he comes through turn 7. You've got the Mercedes. Is that Fanfinus? It is not. It is Pulse Luxury, who's doing a second outlap just to lower that fuel consumption, lower that fuel weight of the car. You've got to be so aware around here. So Jack coming through, 5 seconds to go. There is going to be a Haas first. Sam Wars does make it to the line and he goes P2. And then Jack is 2 tenths up on his lap time and Jack will take it off him and go P2. The Mercedes comes through. That is Fanfinus that stays P4. Then you've got Solar. No, it's Ivan that goes up to P9. The Aston Martin. Then you've got Solar in the Red Bull who goes into the pit lane. The McLaren Ivan, that is Kylan that retires. That is Jinkto. Then you've got Jeffy Boy, goes up to P11. That is B right. I think, no, it's Reese that goes into the pit lane. He invalidated it. Gale will be next. Gale stays P5. Here comes B right. He goes into the pit lane. He's not going to be able to improve. And Pulse Luxury will be next to the line. Pulse Luxury goes P5 in that Mercedes. One more driver. No, Deadly is not improving. He will not be happy about that. 19 drivers on the grid, but it is Reese that takes pole here in Interlagos. Wow. A 106.8 for Reese Dye. Incredible lap times. So it is short qualifying due to only having 16 drivers on the grid, but then when the race started with like 5 seconds to go, everybody started jumping in and we didn't know. Fabulous Gale, then you've got B right. Sorry, I'm just putting all the drivers down in the standings, do bear with me. Then you have B right, Solo Jeffy, who's the Ferrari in P12. That is SJ. Have I still got SJ? Yeah. And then who was the Sauber? It was Levan. There we go, all done. The standings are updated. I need to put Jack Happy and Sam Wars in their seats actually, bear with me. I know, we are. So the driver's getting ready to go racing. Ah, Grabangan, that's a real shame that you can't race till Abu Dhabi. Oh, that's a real shame. So we are getting going for this race. 19 drivers on the grid. It should be a cracker of a race, it really should. Just need to move the laptop because I've got the computer in front of me, I've got the laptop with all the data. It's just a nightmare. I've not moved at all today, apart from the hour and 20 to hour and 30 minutes I had. Let's just watch a bit of football then. It's the only time I've been able to chill today. But I do have to be up at 4 AM in the morning. So Reese will head towards the line. There's a couple of drivers that got DSQ'd. But here we go. Ready and waiting. And you can see the tyre choices. Only one driver has decided to go for the hards, and that is the Frenchman of Levant. So, there's Jay not parking up either. So here we go. This is it. for round 16 here in Interlagos, Brazil, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it's lights out, and away we go. Jack Happy Champ did get a good start, but Reese is going to cover him off straight away. And that is Fanfinus, and he's already up to P3. You've got Gale in the Alpine going up the inside of Sam Wars. And Gale is up to P4. You've got B-Right and Deadly. And there is a collision, I think, at the back. And that was the Sauber that was going off the track. And that was Levan, I think it was, down into P18. And a couple of the drivers just hitting the billboards in front. That is Deadly and B-Right, nothing to separate them. These two went at it last week and they're going at it again. And now here comes the Red Bull of Ivan that goes up the inside and shoves the Englishman aside. And the Croatian is up to P7. Here comes Solar the Eater. Then comes SJ in the Ferrari trying to make up moves. You've got Pulse Luxury who's going to go for a late lunge up the inside. And that is time to perfection for Pulse Luxury. And now he's back behind SJ in the Ferrari. He's going to look for a move at turn 12, but he covers him off. Great defensive racing. Fanfinus is now into P3. This is what we are waiting for. And look at this. Solar the Eater is through and up to P9. SJ is there. Pulse Luxury in the Mercedes is going to go for a move down in towards turn 1. The Ferrari a little later on the brakes. DRS is now enabled. And look at this. There goes Pulse Luxury on the back of the Ferrari. And they've all locked in that DRS train. And it's been a great start from these drivers. And here comes the Sauber of Yowie Sean up the inside of Edward. And then Pulse Luxury and SJ once again. These two have really been battling hard between them as we go out of turn 9 and down in towards the left-hander. It is great to watch Solar in P9 doing a fantastic job of keeping his pace with these guys. So Jack Happy Champ is a second behind, but I think he lost DRS. That means Fanfinus might get a crack at him. Here comes Fanfinus down in towards turn 1. Is he going to be patient or is he going to go for it? He is going to be patient. And that is better racing. Pulse Luxury in the Mercedes once again on the Ferrari. Does go at the inside of SJ. They do clap wheels. And it is the Ferrari that just squeezes the Mercedes off. Then he leaves the space. And now comes the Alpine. Now comes the Aston Martin. And CJ is squeezing through in the Alpine of Kylan. Nearly off the track. Comes back up the inside of Pulse Luxury and leaves in the space. And now comes the Sauber of Yowie Sean and Pulse Luxury. Maybe being harassed here is Pulse Luxury. Later on the brakes goes Sean. Pulse Luxury is well involved in the fighting in the midfield. And I tell you, it's been good racing from Pulse Luxury. He's been really clean, but I think he's just struggling with the demand of the drivers around him. Especially Kylan in the Alpine. But Pulse Luxury just needs to stay in that DRS, but then he rode the curb. And that will give Edward the run on him. Up the inside he goes. What about Jack Happy Champ on the back of Restart? That was close. And here come both McLarens, Edward and Jinkto, both through on Pulse Luxury. Papaya Progress here in Interlagos. A round curve of assault. And down Retro-Aposta we go. CJ in the Aston Martin is through on SJ. Gap to the leader, 7.5 seconds. SJ in that Scuderia. Remember, points go down to P15 here in F7. And I don't think any of the drivers do have damage. Jorn and Jeffy apparently. Levan has left. Oh, Levan's just retired on track and left. And that'll probably be the last race for F7 for Levan. So Jack Happy Champ with that DRS on Restart. Fanfinus is still there. Fanfinus, his pace has improved so much lately. It's starting to get that old fanfulness back, which is nice. So, Kylan and SJ on the back of CJ, who's doing a good job in P10. Ooh, and he goes later on the brakes. But all of the drivers are still in it here. So, Fanfulness and the Haas of Jack Happy Champ. Gayle in the Alpine, then Sam Wars. The two debutants teaming up, doing a good job. And look at this from Sam Wars on the outside of Gayle, down in towards turn 1, and he is through. Timed beautifully by Sam Wars. Jack picks up his second track limit. Here comes Fanfulness. He's got the better exit. Down Retro-Aposta we go. The Dutchman versus the Scotsman. But Jack has the straight line speed to fend him off. What about CJ? And look at the two McLarens in the distance. They're both overtaking Kylan in the Alpine. Now here comes CJ on the inside of SJ. Through turn 5, the Aston Martin is through. SJ in the Ferrari back down to P11, but Edward and Jinto, Bulls Luxury is also through on Kylan. A lot of battling here in Brazil. Bulls Luxury needs some recovery drive, but it's got 30 laps to go. There is so much on offer here. The undercut we know is huge. So do not count these drivers out just yet. Anything is possible. Reese is doing a good job in the lead, but Jack is making him work for it as he come around Curva de Sol and down Retro-Aposta. The DRS is enabled once again. And what about SJ? He's going to go around the outside of CJ. And then he's going to get that DRS, and surely SJ is going to get the move. No, he's going to run out of room. He's just not got the battery, but I tell you who has. The two McLarens who are fighting between themselves, and now Bulls Luxury is going to see an opportunity open up as he comes around turn 6. Unfortunately, Edward defending really well. What about Fanfulness in the Mercedes? So let's have a look at the reaction times of Reese and Jack. 5.53 from both of them. I knew it was close on the reaction times. I didn't realise it was identical. And I think Jack is going to lose out on DRS. That means Fanfulness is going to be able to close the gap. We'll have a look at the last laps between the pair of them. Down in towards turn 1. Gayle speeds into the pit lane. He's going for an undercut from P8 and picks up a 10-second time penalty. And Gayle is having an amazing race here. That's a real shame from Gayle. He is going to have a 2-stopper race, so he's going to have to just serve that 10 seconds, but that's so unfortunate. B right now up to P5 with Ivan and Deadly on the back of him. Then you've got Pulse Luxury trying to make a move on Edward. Down in towards turn 5 we go. And the McLaren just off the track, but Pulse Luxury is making progress. What about Kylan? What about Jeffy? And Jeffy just not able to get through at the moment. Oh, and he does look for the lunge. Doesn't really go for it though. CJ and SJ. It's a great tussle between the pair of them. And we can have a look at the way SJ is driving. And what about Sam Wars? Here we go, the Haas driver. He is now caught up to Fanfulness. So Sam Wars in the Haas. Then you've got Jinto. And you've got the Aston Martin of CJ and SJ. Is Jinto going to go for a move as well? Down in towards turn 1. The Ferrari's wide and onto the grass. He's going to have to cut the corner a little bit, but he comes back out just in front of the McLaren. And that was a good re-entry from SJ. But Jinto's now got the run on him as he goes down in towards turn 5. Goes later on the brakes, nearly clatters into the Aston Martin. Here comes the Mercedes of Pulse Luxury. We've got a real battle on our hands here in Interlagos. SJ picking up a track limit violation. Look at the Ferrari and the Mercedes, and that was the Mercedes that just gave him a nudge up the inside, and it's pushed him slightly wide. But SJ is defending with all of his might here. Pulse Luxury, and SJ just shuts the door on the AMG driver. Edward watching all of this. He should be paying for the tickets with that kind of view. B-Right and Deadly are into the pit lane as well, so they are going to go for a big undercut. Not a huge undercut. Let's look at the tyres, really. 51% for the rears of the drivers that are staying out. So in towards turn 1 and 2 we go again. And that is F1 Lexi being overtaken by Kylan. But I'm sure F1 Lexi will try and come back, and absolutely he will. Down Retro-Aposta in towards turn 5, and they are wheel to wheel, these two drivers. And it's good racing. That is a couple of drivers off the track there. That is SJ and Pulse Luxury again, and Pulse Luxury is through. Wow, the Mercedes finally getting it done. But they are absolutely at war here. Oh, and there's been a crash. The Ferrari and the Mercedes have finally come together. Luckily, they don't have damage. But we are seeing a war here in South America. Gailey in the Alpine, remember, went for the undercut. He has already pitted and caught back up to the pack. And the battle in between these two drivers is not helping anyone. I'm wondering if Kylan's going to let his teammate go. He does. Oh, and then he collides. Does Pulse Luxury with Kylan. Now they're out wide, and the Ferrari is coming back through. And here comes the Racing Bull of B-Right as well, who's also pitted. And the House of Jack Champ is going to come out trying to get away from this group of fighting drivers, and B-Right is the same. Remember, these drivers are already pitted. They do not want to get caught up in this, and luckily for Jack, he is avoiding it at the moment. B-Right will have the grip on the tyres. He'll go up the inside of Kylan in the Alpine, who says, yep, that's not my fight. I don't want any part of it. Race on a two-stop. You are right. Down in towards P6 he goes. The Pulse Luxury and Kylan really squabbling here. Remember, SJ is also now pitted. Jorn picks up a 3 second. What about Jinto? He gets overtaken by Reese. And then you've got Gailey on them fresher tyres. And here comes Fanfinus as well. And this is who Gailey was fighting with prior to the pit stops. Fanfinus is through and up to P6. Kylan speeds in the pit lane. It's so easy to do here, but everybody knows how much I hate pit lane penalties. It's just the risk to reward is just non-existent for a pit stop penalty. It's just not worth the risk at all. And B-Right is trying to get through on Edward, but without prevail at the moment. Then he'll go up the inside of turn 6 and 7. And he is through and up to P10. Jeffy is next. But as long as B-Right can try and stay with Jack Champ here, remember, because he is fighting with Reach Jack. So if B-Right can stay with him, that's where he will be. But he doesn't want to lose the time. He will get the DRS on Jeffy, and Jeffy will be a bit of a sitting duck. Jack has got Gailey in front of him, who is fighting for actual positions here. Fanfinus on CJ. And Ivan picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. There's a lot of the drivers doing it. And Fanfinus is through on CJ. What about Gailey as well? Is he going to go for that late lunge? He does! Oh, and that's way too late. Can he pull the car up? He can just about get it pulled up. Jack picks up a 3-second time penalty that might be taken off at the end. But my goodness, this is a proper scrap here in Brazil. A real old F1 tussle we are watching. And B Wright is through on Deadly. He did get through. And Ivan picking up a time penalty. But I think there's going to be a lot of them when we get to the end of the race. Sola going for an overcut. So is Sam Wars. Did CJ even pit? I don't think he has, mate. No. Looking at his tyre. He has pitted. How has that happened? Oh, no, sorry. I was looking at Gayley. No, he hasn't pitted. 59% on them rears. And he now has B Wright with the better exit, with the fresher tyres. And then the two Williams of Deadly and Jeffy Boy. And he is going to stay out CJ with that DRS. But B Wright will move to the inside because he's going to want to go later on the brakes with them fresher tyres. And that's exactly what he does. And CJ is brushed aside by the three-time Tier 1 World Champion of B Wright. And that is how you do it. Solar the Yeeter on the pit exit now, but he's going to be on very fresh tyres. And look at this for a lunge from the Mercedes. Oof, wow. Nearly took him out. That was close. So Jack Champ does have B right now, and Bjorn picks up a 10-second as well, but he just retires. So B right in P6. Yeah, this is a real good race. And we can see the battery. Here comes Jack with that overtake. And he is through. And then Gayley. What about B Wright? He's going to want to get through on that Alpine soon. And they both push the overtake button. CJ's into the pit lane finally. Reese is 10 seconds behind Sam Wars. Maybe there's a tactical move going on here for the Haas drivers. You can see the strategies. Jeffy picks up another 3-second time penalty. But there's a lot of drivers that have got time penalties here, so I wouldn't worry too much. I'm wondering if it's going to be rain, you know. It doesn't look like it. The top right does tell us the weather forecast. It doesn't say there's going to be rain. And Sam Wars picked up a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. And we said all of the drivers are really notching them up. By the end of this race, everybody's going to have a 10-second time penalty. It's going to be so costly. And for anybody not getting a 10-second time penalty, well, good luck to you. And that is Edward. Yeah, and he will not get a 10-second time penalty. He's not worth the risk. Here comes Jinkto and SJ. The Ferrari and the McLaren going toe-to-toe. But it is Jinkto that is through. On SJ through turn 3, and then a down Retro-Aposta we go, but it will be the Scuderia that gets the DRS. Is he going to be close enough? We shall see as we go down in towards turn 4. And he's not going to be able to get that position back just yet. Then you've got Jeffy and the Williams on the back of CJ. Pulse Luxury picking up a 3-second time penalty. B Wright is back in the mix after that undercut. It's anybody's race here. It really is. Reese died 3 seconds in front of Fanfinus. And we can have a look at strategies. That's what we're looking at the moment. They are all on the same strategy. Reese, Jack and Fanfinus. What about Gayley? In the Alpine on the back of V right. He's trying his move. Remember, Jack and Gayley have big penalties. So does Sam Wars, who's come out in P7 on the freshest tyres. So keep your eyes peeled on Sam Wars. B right, the 3-time Tier 1 World Champion. And that is CJ making an overtake in the background. And Kylan picking up a 3-second time penalty. Take care, Jon. Have a good night, mate. I need to get my head down soon as well. I have to be up at 4. So, good racing. We can have a look at the tyre delta. So, if you have a look, the tyres, they quickly change. So, like, you've got Gayle here, and he's on 31% tyres, but the fresh, hard tyres now are a second a lap quicker than the tyres that he's on. So it just goes to show how big the undercut is, even when the tyres are not that old. The hards are already a second a lap quicker, fresh hards. So both Saubers are out of this race. And then you've got Deadly in the Williams. Sam Wars on them freshest tyres, starting to catch up to them. B-Rat has lost that DRS to Jack Champ in front. So interesting stuff. B-Rat is 6 seconds away from the leader as well, who has set the fastest lap so far. And that means Gayle is going to get that DRS on B-Right, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move just yet. And then SJ in the Ferrari will have a crack at the McLaren of Jinkto. He's slipping and sliding. Jinkto picking up a 3-second time penalty. He made a mistake on the curb, and that might open up the door as he hits that DRS. Rear wing wide open, going down in towards turn 1. He's coming, he is coming at a rapid rate of knots. Down the inside he goes, the Ferrari, but it's Jinkto that switches it back. And he just tries to keep back to let the Ferrari do what he was doing. Will the DRS switch around? It will. And now Jinkto will try his luck, but he is not close enough. CJ on the back of Jeffy Boy. Then you've got Pulse Luxury in the distance. Gayle and B-Right. It is looking very cloudy, but we can see the weather forecast in the top right is not expecting rain. So Jinkto still has that. Oh, the Ferrari's through. Jinkto has made a mistake, and now the second Ferrari of F1 Lexi wants a piece of the action, and he might just get it. And here comes Gayle in towards turn 1. B-Right is starting to lose time, but look at his tyres. They are a little bit more worn than... No, actually, they're not that bad. Yeah, in fact, Gayle's is actually worse off. I thought B-Right's strategy... Gayle pitted, pitted earlier than B-Right. I didn't know that. So, Solar the Yeeter up to P9, SJ and Jinkto. Solar the Yeeter has gone for an overcut though. And we have just confirmed that Solar is definitely a tier 1 driver. Oh, and Jinkto looking for a move on SJ. He couldn't pull it off. And now he's going to have to try again. Second time lucky for Jinkto. Around turn 6 and 7. And he gets very close to the Ferrari driver. Then he'll use the outside. He'll try and dive in towards turn 8 and 9. And then up towards turn 10. And that is Jeffy in the Williams. Fighting hard with F1 Lexi. Jack Champ is now back within a second of Fanfordus. And here comes Jeffy Boy up the inside. The Williams drifting through turn 13. The Ferrari gets the better exit. Here comes the Williams into the slipstream of F1 Lexi again. This might be the overtake that he was looking for. And Jeffy Boy in the Williams all over the back of the Ferrari. And that is F1 Lexi and Jinkto as well going for the move. Jinkto pushing SJ inside. Both Ferraris are under attack. And here comes the Aston Martin and they are so close. Jinkto is through, but now here comes the Williams trying to squeeze through the middle of them. The McLaren is ahead. Then comes the Williams. The Ferrari goes late on the brakes, but Jeffy is back in front. And now he's back on the inside of the McLaren and round. And so is the Aston Martin. Yellow flags are waving. Wow. Both Ferraris into P11 and 12. Jeffy Boy is round. CJ and Pulse Luxury hold on. And the two Ferraris swapping places. And that is Sam Wars. And B Wright gets a 10-second. Wow. And B Wright rarely gets a time penalty. And I tell you what, he might have just thrown away a podium getting a 10-second, especially with all the drivers in front having 10 seconds. Gale is back in serving his 10 seconds. Which I would rather do. I would rather get rid of the 10 seconds in the race, which B Wright is not going to be able to do now. All the other drivers are going to have to serve that 10 seconds. Especially if they pit again, and looking at the strategies, they probably are going to have to pit again. So that means that B Wright will be the lone survivor with that pit lane penalty. But it does mean that he will be slightly ahead. When all is said and done, Fanfurness and Rees are very comfortable. They've not even got a track limit warning yet, Fanfurness or Rees. And Fanfurness is on his way in. Do not speed into the pit lane. Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? So Jack Champ is now in the lead. Rees going for that two-stopper. Solar the Eater. Remember, with that overcut, is now going to come through. And he is going to come out potentially in front of his sister car of Rees. And he is. So Rees comes out in P6. Fanfurness in P7. Here comes B Wright with the undercut. And he is going to come out just behind Fanfurness. As they go down Retro Aposta, you can see him just in the distance. So the whole grid is sort of like mismatched at the moment. We don't really know where anybody is at the moment. It's quite intriguing, really. Oh, and that's the Aston Martin of CJ. Oh, and he just nearly spins. And now Kylan really wants to get through, and Jack has sped into the pit lane as well. 10 seconds for him. 10 seconds for Sam. 10 seconds for Ivan. 10 seconds for Fanfurness. 10 seconds for B Wright. 10 seconds for Jinkto. 10 seconds for Pulse. Wow. 10 seconds for Fanf. What is going on? I tell you, it's one of my pet hates, speeding into the pit lanes. I say it all the time, the risk for reward is not worth it. I'd rather lose 2 seconds going slowly into the pit lane than lose 10 speeding. You're trying to gain like a couple of attempts by going a little bit quicker in there. It's just not worth it. But I tell you, Brazil is a slower pit lane, I think. It might not. It might just be that that's catching them out. Jack comes out just in front of B Wright on 1 lap fresher tyres. Rees in P4, but now he's got traffic in front of him, and one of them is Solar X the Yeeter. So into turn 12, CJ picking up another 3 seconds. But looking at all these 10 seconds, he could be in a good position. And he is going to get that DRS. Here comes Rees. Oh, and the Red Bull driver of Solar not moving out of the way at all. And luckily, Rees does not have damage. B Wright on Jack Champ. Then Deadly, F1 Lexi and Pulse Luxury. It's a fascinating Grand Prix. Pulse on the back of F1 Lexi, getting comparatively close as he makes a mistake, and Jeffy Boy is through. Jeffy Boy around the outside of Curve of the Soul, and down Retro Aposta we go. But look at the straight line speed of Pulse Luxury. CJ's out in the pit lane. I thought CJ was having a good race. He only had 6 seconds. Everybody in front of him had massive penalties. If a safety car come out, it would be game changing. Pulse Luxury. Oh wow, we are talking millimeters. F1 Lexi. Wow, how he kept hold of that, I'll never know. Drifting through turn 8. And F1 Lexi has fended it off. Are any of the top 5 on fresh hards? So, oh, I can't see Sam Wars. Evan 40%. It's Reese. Reese is on the freshest tyres because he's not long pitted. Solar picks up a 3 second, but it's not that bad considering everybody around him has 10 seconds. Pulse Luxury in the Mercedes. Going to go for a move on the Ferrari down in towards turn 1. And Pulse Luxury finally through and up to P9. F1 Lexi might be able to respond though, because he is going to have that DRS as we go down. Retta Aposta, here comes F1 Lexi. He is going to try and make the move down in towards turn 4. Wheel to wheel. Go the Mercedes and the Ferrari. They do slightly touch. Gale, a front row seat to this action in front here in South America. Then in towards turn 6 and 7. The Ferrari has the inside line. He pushes the Mercedes and around he goes. Pulse Luxury is into the wall. He has damage, a missing front wing. Oh, that's a shame. That's the second time that's happened. Fanfan setting the fastest lap of this race. Sam Wars is still leading. Then Reese, then Ivan, then Fanfan, then Jack Champ, then Solar X the Eater, then B Right. So, we still have a lot of action here. Yeah, racing. To be honest, the racecraft in Tier 1 tonight has actually been quite decent, to be fair. But yes. I mean, the problem is, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, you're always going to have collisions and incidents. Always. When you've got drivers from around the world competing on track on a virtual game, you're always going to have collisions. Luckily for us, they're a lot fewer than a lot of other leagues and a lot of other places. So luckily for us, we prioritise clean racing and we really punish drivers that don't abide by that. But we can't work miracles. And Bjorn, as you know, as one of the league directors, we try and promote clean racing. And we do a very good job, and that's what we're known for. If you type Formula 7 racing into ChatGPT and say what are we known for, it will literally come up the definition of prioritise clean racing and send real trophies. That's what it will come up as. And we do prioritise clean racing, especially in comparison to other leagues. But there will always be incidents when you're racing on a virtual game with people around the world who don't know each other. It's just how it is. Luckily, we keep them to a minimum. But sometimes, like we've seen in Tier 2 today, Tier 3, sometimes it overheats and we have bad races. And Tier 3 today was a bad race. It was really poor. A lot of incidents, and we have seen incidents throughout the day as well, which will be addressed with the stewards. But I'm hoping when we get to Vegas next week, it will be amazing. Vegas was one of our best races last year. Last season, Vegas was amazing. It was just overtake after overtake after overtake. It was so good. It was such clean racing in Vegas last year as well. There was a couple of incidents going into the Sphere. I think at turn 7 and 8. And then you go into the monorail at turn 10, I think it is, or 9. Anyway, but yeah, through there was a few incidents. Here comes Jinkto around the outside of SJ. SJ goes later on the brakes at the inside. But Jinkto is through and up to P13. Then you've got Deadly in P8. So the Williams will have that DRS, and he is going to get the move done on Solar X. And Deadly is up to P7. And Jack picks up another 3-second time penalty. And if you look at Solar X, his tyres 56%, so he hasn't pitted yet. Remember, he's gone for a huge overcut here, Solar. Is he going to try and get to the end of the race? This is risky, but you do have Gale 12.5 seconds behind. And then Edward and Jeffy Boy, remember, points down to P15 here in F7. So, good racing. 5 laps to go here in Tier 1. Only 3 DNFs, 2 Saubers and an Aston Martin, all reserves as well. So, no full-time driver has retired from this race yet. Just been good, and there goes Deadly on Evan. 1 Red Bull, 2 Red Bull, and up to P6 goes the Williams driver. He is on an absolute charge, and remember, Deadly doesn't have a 10-second time penalty. I tell you, he is on for a good result here, Deadly. He just needs to stay with it. So just keep your eyes peeled on Deadly, because this could be massive for him. And that is Edward and Jeffy Boy. Oh, Jeffy's just shoved Edwards off, I think, by mistake. There goes SJ on Jinkto. Again, these two, 5 laps to go. Oh, and the Ferrari really trying to squeeze through on Jinkto. That's a little bit audacious from the Ferrari driver. Got to give it to him though, he is trying. And wheel-to-wheel action here. Oh, and SJ picked up another track limit. And he's literally pushing Jinkto through. Remember, you do get 6 points for P11. So you need to be careful here. In towards turn 4. So just having a look at Deadly. How far is he behind the leader? 11.3, but that's Sam Wars, who's on really old tyres. So as it stands now, he would finish P2 if my maths is correct, which is brilliant. And what about Jack Champ and B Right? Deadly might catch up to B Right before the end of this race as well. Edward on Jeffy. Edward in the top 10. What a race. What a race for him. And there goes SJ on Jinkto, and he is through. Can the McLaren respond? I've got a feeling the heat is gonna boil over between these two before the end of the race. Down in towards turn 4. Deadly picking up a 3-second time penalty. His first time penalty. That throws it all up in the air now. With 3.5 laps to go. And Sam's tyres, we can have a look. And we can't see it because he hides his data. So unfortunately we can't see it. And there goes Jack Champ that is through on Fanfurness and up to the podium places in P3. That is massive. I will just bring up the tyres actually. So that's what it's looking like. 18 laps for Sam Wars. 20 laps for Solar X. Madness. And we can see Solar, his tyres, 73% on the race. We've seen somebody get a puncher on 80% in a race this morning. So Edward, oh, that's a yellow flag. That is a yellow flag. Who is it for? I can't see anything yet. Jeffy and Edward very close on track. It's raining. Is it raining? It's raining. It says overcast in the top right, but it's raining. Ivan picks up a 3 second. 2 laps to go. We are on the penultimate lap and it is raining here in Interlagos. Wow. We did not expect this because it doesn't say it's going to rain. And this means that the drivers, I tell you what, Sam Wars has done an incredible job here, especially on them 19-lap-old hard tyres. Penalties. That's what it looks like at the moment. So we are going to go on to the final lap of this race. Reese might get DRS here, and Sam Wars is struggling, and Reese is closing down. We are on to the final lap of this amazing Grand Prix here in Brazil for Formula 7 racing here in Tier 1. We still have Jinkto and SJ going at it, and F1 Lexi is caught back up, but Reese is catching up to the race leader. Sam Wars on his debut is leading this race, but his tyres 20 laps on the hards. Reese 13 laps on the hards. Is he going to get him to the line? He doesn't need to overtake him because Sam has a 10-second time penalty, but I'm sure he wants to take it on track. Through turn 9 and 10. Deadlift on for P2. He is Harry as it stands. So up towards turn 10 we go. It is still raining and the drivers might start to struggle. As you can see, Reese there slipping round. Here we go. So in towards the final corner at turn 12. Reese will have the better grip, but it's not helping in the rain. And then he's going to burn that battery and he's going to get DRS. Is he going to win it on track? Down to the line we go. It is Sam Wars, but it's Reese that wins here in Interlagos. He takes the race victory. Sam Wars takes P2 and Fanfurness in P3. Jack Champ. What has happened to Jack Champ? Oh, I think he got a big time penalty. Solar X comes through on really old tyres. Incredible stuff. A great job from Gale, especially after that 10 seconds. Jeffy boy is going to come through. Edward to the line. Edward gets him. Wow. Edward pips Jeffy to the line. Jinkto comes through to take P10. SJ in P11. F1 Lexi in P12. Ivan slides through. Pulse Luxury is going to get a race finish. Not the one he would have hoped for. And Pulse Luxury to the line. Kylan will come through and maybe try not to DNF before the line there, Kylan. But he does come through and take P16. Wow. I'm sorry about the billboards as well, guys. I did update all the billboards and then forgot to update the file to add them on. So I'm really, really annoyed about that. So let's go through the final standings. So you've got Reese in the race victory in the V-Cab. Sam Wars in P2, I need to write this down as well. Then you've got Deadly in P3, who gets a podium. Fanfinis in P4 and B Right in P5. Jack Champ on his debut in P6. Sam Wars on his debut in P2. Solar the Eater in P7. Gale in P8. Edward in P9. What a drive from Edward. Jinkto in P10. SJ in P11. F1 Lexi in P12. Jeffy Boy in P13. Then Ivan and Pulse Luxury. Then Kyle and CJ Yorn and Levan. Driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Edward. I thought he drove a really good race. He's not a tier 1 driver, so I am going to give it to Edward for today. But yes, that is it. I sped by less than 1 mile per hour. It's so annoying, Jeffy, isn't it? You've got to have where he's drifting all this, yeah. But yes, what a race, what a Grand Prix, what a result. It was a really good Grand Prix. But that is it. Yeah, no problem, Edward. But that is it, guys. We'll be back next week. I am absolutely shattered again. We are going to start debriefing at the start of race days, so there is a debrief in there now. We have got LMU tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. It is my first day in my new job, in my new role, so I might be a little bit tired when I get home. But then we've got LMU, then we've got Realistic Wednesday, and then we've got Assetto Corsa Friday. That is all now being run through Racing League tools instead of SimGrid, so it should be a lot better. But yes, thank you all so much, guys. Make sure you have a great week. Enjoy it, and I will see you for LMU tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support. Honestly, it means so much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, have a great week, everybody, and I will see you on the next one.